Howdy folks, I'm Brian,
I'm Amber.
and here's some Reddit. Our first letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Telling His Fiancé and Parents That He's Stalking Me? And of course there is a content warning on this one, it does involve stalking. I'm a 27-year-old woman, and I briefly dated this guy in college. He got really clingy and wouldn't let me break up with him, and I ended up moving apartments. So years later, a few times a year, I get social media requests from an extra account that he's made after I blocked him. I figured it was him, but after some sleuthing, I confirmed it. I just kept not approving these new follow requests and deleting anyone off my social media if I wasn't sure who they were. I also found out he got access to my work calendar for a little while by making a fake client account. Actual clients of mine can see my availability to book meetings, but he was just trying to see when I was working. But recently, I moved back to my old town and I joined a hiking group and then go. And guess who happened to be hiking that day? I was shocked when I saw him and I just left. I took pictures before I went and I went home to figure out what to do. I didn't want this guy in my business anymore. He was honestly scaring me, but the cops really don't do anything about him until a crime has happened. And making 15 fake Instagram accounts and showing up at one hiking group doesn't seem like something that they're going to take seriously. So I filed a report anyways, but it didn't go anywhere as expected. Then I also unblocked him long enough from my social media to find his mom and dad's Facebook account. And when I did, I also realized that he was engaged to a woman. I was mad at first that he was being so creepy, then he was doing that when he was engaged secretly. So I took screenshots of the 15 Instagram accounts, fake clients, accounts, etc. that he made and evidenced them by being linked to his phone number and sent them to his family and fiance along with pictures from hiking. And then I said that I had dated this man in college 6 years ago, and multiple times a year he tries to circumvent the fact that I've blocked him on social media by making fake accounts to friend me, and also showed up where I was at. And I filed a police report, and if any of them care about him at all, they better talk some sense into him and tell him that it's best to leave me alone, because if he keeps coming around or trying to con me into giving him access to my life or location on social media, I'm going to pursue it legally. His parents didn't answer at first, but his fiance flipped out at me and called me a liar. Then his parents chimed in to the group chat saying that they would have a talk with their son, but the way I brought it up to their attention with the Facebook Messenger group was insensitive. I got frustrated and said that being stalked was insensitive as well, and I would appreciate it if they took this up with their son instead of me. And I was trying to give them a chance to hear it from me when he still has a chance to cut it out, not a collect call from a jail cell. The three of them blocked me, but I haven't heard anything from my ex. I don't know if his family or girl believes me, but I'm hoping the fact that they've probably asked him about it scared him straight. Am I the jerk for having to put a stop on the stalking like this? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk.
Well, OP, I don't think that you were a jerk in this situation. There really wasn't too many more avenues that you could go with this, right? You chose this avenue because it seemed like it was a convenient one. And I mean, I think you're right. Like, if he continues these kinds of behaviors, eventually it's going to get him into legal trouble. And posing to be one of your clients just so he can gain access to your calendar, I think is really gross and creepy, right? So yeah, OP, I don't think that you're a jerk here. I think that it's better for them to know and to talk to him and him to cut this out. So good luck. Not the jerk, while they probably can't force him to stop stalking you, there's a 100% chance that they can't even influence him if they don't know that there's a problem. They are likely embarrassed and reacted poorly by calling you insensitive. You had every right to lose any sensitivity the first time you had to move to try to get him out of your life. The parents reacted poorly to the group chat because it included this fiancé. They likely know that their son is a creep and were hoping to keep their new fiancé from finding out. They wanted OP to privately message them so that they could keep the fiancé in the dark. I mean, that is a possibility. I mean, I don't know that that is the most likely scenario, but I do think that is, relatively a possibility. This letter is titled, Am I a Jerk for Blowing Up on My Fiancé in Front of His Family for Getting My Daughter's Cat Out of the House? I'm a 35-year-old female and I got engaged to my fiancé Eric, a 37-year-old male, 2 months ago. He moved in with me and my daughter Zoe, a 13-year-old female. Everything was going well till he started complaining about Zoe's cat, which is strange because the cat is so sweet and quiet most of the time, and so I had no idea what the issue was exactly. Anyways, he went from complaining about the cat to making demands about her. He gave Zoe a list of places the cat can and can't go, and things she's allowed to touch. Banned from places like the kitchen and sofa, Zoe's favorite place to cuddle with her cat. Zoe showed me this list, and I had an argument with him, telling him that he needed to stop this because it was ridiculous. He ranted about this being his house too, and how he expects things to change after we get married.
Do not marry this man.
Run. A few days ago, I was at work and I got a call from Zoe crying that her cat wasn't in her room and in the house. I freaked out too and went home to look for her. Zoe and I looked for 2 hours before a neighbor of ours brought her to us and told us that he saw Eric leaving her outside and getting in his car and leaving. I was surprised and quite angry. Zoe took her cat and went back inside. I immediately drove to my future in-laws' home where Eric said he would be. The second I saw him sitting with his family, I went off on him and blew up in front of everyone. His mom asked what was happening, and I told her that her son got my daughter's indoor cat outside of the house, probably hoping for her to get lost. He argued about wanting me to stop spouting nonsense and go home and we would talk there, but I refused. It got worse and I ended up leaving after his family flipped out at him. He sent a bunch of texts to me talking about the stunt that I pulled in front of his family. He said that he didn't mean to leave the cat outside, but checking the cams, I confirmed it. He still insisted that I humiliated him in front of the family and tried to turn them against him. He's been staying with a friend and has stopped calling and texting. Am I the jerk for blowing up at him in front of the family? Alright, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk, but don't marry him.
Yeah, I mean, I think that OP, you're being given a wonderful gift in this situation. You can see his true colors. Things are going to get worse from here on out. It seems like he was kind of holding off on his more controlling bits until he moved in with you. And I think he's just going to continue to get more and more controlling. And I don't think that that's a good situation for you or your daughter to be in. Because a cat, I mean, I don't know if you folks have ever tried this, but try telling a cat what to do and it doesn't listen. I mean, it's just the nature of cats, right? They're very much free spirits, let's put it that way. And to be like, oh, hey, free spirit cat, why don't you go and not hang out in the living room anymore, is just not going to work, right? It just does not happen. So, I mean, there's all kinds of people who will be like, cat, stay off the counters. And the cat will go into the kitchen and stand on the counters while you're not home just to spite you because they can, because you're not there to tell them to get off the counters, right? This is cats, right? So it's nonsense for him to sit there and be like, your cat can't be on the couch. So, I don't know. I think that you're not the jerk, and I think that he's acting ridiculous in this situation. Anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, what he did was horrible. But it says a lot more about him, and it's way worse. He doesn't just lack empathy, but also respect for you and your daughter, and integrity. OP should not only dump Eric, but also she should take the video footage straight to the police and file a complaint of animal abandonment. In my state, that's a misdemeanor. Our next letter is titled, Am I a jerk for telling my wife that if she wants to dictate the sleep schedule for our kids, then she is welcome to be a stay-at-home mom? My wife and I are both in our early 30s and we have 2 sons, an 8-year-old and a 2-year-old. We also are raising her niece, a 5-year-old, currently, because her parents are in rehab. I'm a stay-at-home dad while my wife works. When we had our oldest, my wife was a stay-at-home mom for a little over a year, and then she decided that she wanted to go back to work. She makes more money than I do, and I was really happy to get to spend time with our son, so I agreed to stay home. I take care of our son and I do the housekeeping. After we had the 2-year-old, the arrangement stayed in place and my wife wanted to continue to work. My wife has severe anxiety and being at home with the kids all day would really impact her mental health. Her niece came to live with us 8 months ago, and it's looking like she will stay here for much longer, maybe even permanently. She's a very lovely girl, but was raised by addicts, so her routine is basically non-existent. I made a solid routine in our house for her, as in chores, sleep schedules, etc. and she's adjusted really well. My wife works 8 to 5, and the kids get up at around 7. Then my wife takes the 8-year-old to school, and I'm at home with the other two. The 8-year-old goes to bed at 8 p.m., the 5-year-old at 7:30, and the 2-year-old at 7. A few days ago, my wife told me that her niece wants to move her sleep schedule up to 8 p.m. The same as our 8-year-old. I told her no because our 8-year-old has more chores because he's older and uses the 30 minutes extra that he has at night to watch his favorite cartoon without the little brother or the cousin interrupting him constantly, which they do because, well, he's the big brother. My wife got really mad at me and said that I'm treating her niece unfairly because she isn't mine. I said that's ridiculous. She told me that we may someday adopt her and that I need to start treating her like my own. I told her I do treat her like my own, and a regular sleep schedule is what I maintain for all of the children. It's not like the 8-year-old can stay up later than agreed, or the 2-year-old can skip naps just because he hates sleep. She called me a biased father and a jerk for putting my kids before her niece. I told her that if I'm such a horrible father, she's welcome to be a stay-at-home mom and deal with the kids while I go to work. She was really hurt. Am I the jerk? All right, folks, what do you think? Jerk or not the jerk?
Not the jerk. It doesn't sound like favoritism.
Yeah, I mean, this doesn't sound like any kind of blatant favoritism, and the only thing is, like, I know we are seeing things from OP's perspective, and there might be other types of favoritism that we aren't seeing here, but this sounds like a purely sleep schedule related complaint that your wife has, and so if that is the case, and there isn't any other stuff going on, then I say that, yeah, she's overreacting here. This is not blatant favoritism. This is the 8-year-old is going to bed a half hour later. It's not even that much later, right? So, I mean, I understand that the 5-year-old wants to improve their sleep schedule or have a different sleep schedule. I think all kids do, right? And all kids want to go to bed later than they can. And I think it's important to set those boundaries and to make sure that they can earn the later sleep hour, right? So I think one way to approach the situation is to outline to your wife what chores your 8-year-old are doing over your 5-year-old and say, well, if she's willing to take on more chores and responsibilities, then maybe we can move the sleep up for her too. So I do think that there needs to be a kind of a carrot type situation here. So I don't think that you're in the wrong at all here, OP. I don't think you're treating them unfairly. It's not like the 5-year-old is going to bed a half hour before the 2-year-old or anything like that here. You know, she gets to go into the middle bedtime slot, and that probably helps stagger the bedtimes as well so that you can get them into bed one at a time. So, and I think that's probably helpful to you as well to maintain a schedule where not all the kids are going to bed at the same time. So I don't think that you're the jerk in this situation, and I think that this is a equitable way to distribute bedtimes. I really do. So anyhow, take care and good luck. Not the jerk, there's a 3-year age difference. My brother's 2 years older than me, and he always went to bed an hour later. I'd be willing to bet that your son went to bed at 7:30 when he was 5, so you most certainly are treating her like your own. NOP says, he did. We moved it to 8 p.m. when he was 7 years old. Not the jerk, sounds like you have valid reasons. It's normal for kids to campaign for later bedtimes. It's also normal for parents to say no. Alright, folks, it is tea time. Grab your beverages of choice. I hope you have something tasty today. I have some tea. Amber has some water. Amber is also resting her voice. She's been doing a lot of editing and on her book, and she has to speak a lot for that because she does text to speech sometimes. And so that's part of the reason why she's not here today. So, hi, Amber.
Hi.
How do you spell extra Y's with 2 letters? Why? That's not a very good joke. And I have Earl Grey. Alright, folks, that's all the time we have for today. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, consider giving me a like. And if you didn't, consider giving me a dislike. Happy Friday, Junior. I hope you're all having a great week and everything is kind of winding down for you. I hope that, yeah, everything's going fun. Take care, and I'll see you all tomorrow.